So our next piece is a really cute little miniature version of an orchid, but not just the flower itself, the whole entire plant. And we're going to put it into a cute little vase or a little pot that it's going to sit in. It's going to have the stem coming up with the flowers itself on it, the leaves on the bottom, those little kind of snaky looking roots that are there, and the little buds that are in the end. Okay, so I'm going to make the pot, and as you can see, it's not perfectly smooth, which I kind of want. I want that look a little bit at the end when we spray it. The color will kind of go into those grooves and it will give it that look which I want. So I'm going to put this in a flour a little bit. That will ensure me that it's not going to stick to my cookie cutter that I have here. I'm going to just make a little border on the bottom, I'm going to make a little border on the top, and that's it. That will be our vase. So we're going to roll this out on the machine again. Lift this up and we'll just put this around, and like I mentioned, it's too long, which is good, and we'll just make the seam in the back, and eventually we'll use this as the front presentation, and we'll just give it a quick cut where it meets, pull this right out, and that's good enough. Like I mentioned, you're not going to see this, you're going to really focus on this part. So, as my fondant is nice and soft and pliable, I think now is a good time to kind of pre-drill a hole where we're eventually going to put the stem in it. And that will wrap it up for the flower pot. So we can put that aside and we can work on the petals. These are the tools that I need. So we have a little bit of syrup to glue them together. We have this one little modeling tool that we use. We have our palette. And I want this because it's not just flat. When you do it on this, it gives it a little bit more of a three-dimensional look. So your leaves eventually will kind of fall off like this and not just be like straight. So this is perfect for that. This is going to be our petals. One is a little bit oval and one is more round, which we're still going to cut a little piece out of it. That's all we need. That's how we're going to do the orchid out of. This cutter, obviously, you can see that it was a round cutter, and I just tweaked it and twisted it into an oval one. So, you know, make use out of it. And then we're going to place those on those little things that we laid out. And you can just use a little tool or something, place them right here, lay them down, do the same over here. Go right in the center and just let them fall down. That's what you want. There's one, there's two. I had a little syrup down, so they're already sticking to it. That's all we need. And when you look at an orchid, it's not just a round petal. They have little cutouts, so we're just going to use that small cutter and kind of cut the petals out like this. So we go right in the center with it, and you just lay them down like this. You take the other one. Again, I like to just break that, sharp edge here. It just looks better at the end. We lay it here, right in between. So there it goes. Same thing. Break the corners. Right on top of it. So these are the petals for the flower itself. There's one thing left, and that's like the centerpiece. And all you do is really take a little piece of fondant, just make a nice little ball round, just underneath where the two petals meet. here. So this will wrap up our flower petals. We just need to let them sit a little bit and let them air dry. Maybe it takes 15-20 minutes or so. And then we're going to spray them and then eventually put the whole plant together. Every time you put your hands into this Satin ice bucket, it's a happy event. So the next project is we want to make the leaves on the bottom. And if you look at an orchid, it has very distinguished, beautiful leaves. They're usually pretty big. But this piece will be for the leaves, and it's just a little thicker than the petals, so this will be perfect. Leaves are really easy. We're just going to take a round cutter, cut it out. We're going to make 4 all together. I'm going to take any roll that I have, cardboard roll. This is a nice angle, and I'm just going to lay them over it. That's all we're going to do. So when you look on the bottom of the plant, you see those little air roots. They're really thin little, they almost look like little snakes or worms. So we're just going to make a couple of those. Those are really, really easy. Just roll it out, cut it, and kind of just bring it into a little bit crazy shapes. And then we have one more thing to do. At the end of the flowers, there is always a couple of bulbs that are just about ready to burst and open their flowers. So we want to make those two. Those are really easy. You take the satin eyes and you just basically make small 3 little bulbs. We have one more thing missing, and that is the actual sprig. And that's actually the only piece that's not out of satin eyes. We're going to do this out of chocolate. And we just need to make it out of chocolate because it needs to really support the weight of all the petals and the little leaves of the orchid. So it needs to be a little bit more structural. And on top of that, we're not just going to do it out of chocolate. I'm actually running a wire right through the entire stem, and so that really will give us the insurance that it will stay. Here, just make 3 little points, and that's where we're going to make those little flower buds. Alright, so now we can just take a knife, run this right underneath. That was in the fridge just for a couple of minutes. Carefully turn this around. You can see the wire right here that runs along this piece, and obviously we don't want to show that. So we're just going to go right on top of this pipe. Now it's time to assemble the little orchid pot. Since we have all the pieces done, they're all airbrushed. We're going to put them together, make it look like a really nice little amenity gift. We'll take the smaller piece and put it over it, like that. Like that. We'll just glue this right together with the chocolate. Like I mentioned, we're just going to put a little chocolate into this hole here that will act as a nice little filler. Now you can see when I push it in, this was just going to like come right back up, right there. Voila.